I am the founder of Mwana Reusable Diapers here in Tanzania, and the goal of these episodes or this series is to make sure that you are very comfortable and confident using cloth diapers because you have all the information necessary. In the previous episodes, we've talked about the benefits of cloth diapers and different materials that are available, and those that are available with me here at Mwana by Ellie's Essentials. And on this episode, we will be talking more on how the different snaps have their functions, what is the functions of all the different snaps that we have, and how to properly dress your baby to avoid leakages, but also how to properly put the inserts in your pocket diaper. On the next episodes, we will cover more how to maintain and wash your reusable diapers, and also different types of skins and how to deal with different skin issues that your baby previously had before using reusable diapers and might have, just because they're babies. So let's get to it. So before we start, I wanted us to do just a little bit of a close-up more on the materials that we discussed last week, just to make sure that you see them properly. I realized they were not very close. For those who are first-time users of Mwana, you've never had them, we have these two types for the moment. When we change them, we will have new episodes coming out, but we have the inner material of suede, and we have the inner material of AWJ. There is others that I will not talk about in this video. Go back to watch the previous one. And these are pocket diapers, and inside the pocket you put your inserts, which come in two different types. This is a microfiber insert, which looks like a towel, and this is a bamboo cotton insert, which looks like bamboo cotton. If that makes sense. And AWJ is basically jersey, and suede is, suede. It looks like sweater. I talked about much more about these materials in the previous episode. So now let's look more into how you can put the different snaps depending on your baby's size, how to put the insert in your diaper, and other things that I have planned for this video. So when you first get your reusable diaper, make sure it is washed, and that is to remove the factory dust. In this diaper, for example, you can see there's a little bit of things here and there, but this also helps the diaper know that we are getting to be used now. We're starting to be used. The materials then become more absorbent when you first do several washes. Try and do 3 or 4, but 2 is also fine. Just wash like you would normally wash your clothes, and then you can start using them. So these are, let's assume, washed diapers, and the first thing you want to do, well, there's 2 ways of doing it. You can first adjust the snaps of the height, or you can just put in the insert first. Let's go with the method of putting the insert first. This is a very important stage because when you put the inserts incorrectly, you will have issues with leakages, and also when you don't tighten the snaps correctly, you will also have issues of leakages. So when you're putting in your insert, the pockets of the diapers are big enough that you can put your whole hand and the insert in and still have a lot of space to work with. Make sure you bring your hand inside and put it all the way to the end, and when you're removing your hand, ensure it just fits properly on the sides like I am doing here. Make sure it fits properly all the way to the end, so you have your insert properly put and it's fit correctly, like so. Same for the suede diaper. The suede diaper is slightly bigger, but the inserts are made specifically for these diapers, so it still fits perfectly. And if you have both materials, it's not a problem for you to interchange the inserts. Just you know, you can put the AWJ in here and in the microfiber insert and so on. It doesn't really matter, because they all have the same width over here, and this is this elastic part is the most notorious part when it comes to leakages. So make sure it's properly fitted on the inside like so. Then you have these snaps. These snaps have different functions. When you have a really small baby, so the first step is you want to adjust the height or the rise, and these snaps are responsible for that. And these snaps over here, the line at the bottom, this is responsible for the thigh area of your baby. Let's assume this is our baby. The rise, that is here to the waist, and then these lower bottom snaps, that is for the thighs, that fits the thighs, and the top snaps of your diaper, that will fit the waist of your baby. So you have a really small baby, 4 kilos, or you just gave birth, you want to pull the male snaps at the top over here all the way to the last snaps down below like so. Once you have your rise snaps fitted, don't worry about this now. Rise snaps fitted, bring your baby over there, and then tighten the sides, the thighs rather, and then bring your wings and put it to the last snap over here, or however, my baby has a pretty large waist, and thighs are, big enough. So once that's put, the next one, you can just fit it like so for the waist. Do that for both sides like this, like I am doing over here. My baby is pretty big. Ooh la la. But you get the point, right? You wanna you wanna fit the snaps according to how they are fitted. So this is slightly below, behind. The thigh snap is slightly behind compared to the waist snaps. So skip one. Don't put it immediately. I will show you over here. So if you are fitting one, this is the first and the second. If you're fitting this, even they are not aligned, in terms of, say you have this over here and then this, bring it back. That will not make sense unless your baby has a big waist and you want to let them breathe like that. And then, so this will just go over here and over here, and you do that on both sides, and you have a properly fit baby. So a very small baby, my model is not a very small baby. You want to bring this side. If you notice, you will have some snaps open, the female snaps on this side as well, on the wings, and that is to help the really, really small babies have their waist properly fit. So you can skip the thigh part because you don't have it over here. So bring it all the way to the front, the middle. So you have 3 snaps on the rise, so the middle is what aligns to show you that this is the really small baby's size. Once that's fitted, you can bring the other flap all the way to this side, and they will overlap like so. They will overlap like so, and you have a really, really tiny waist, but then still elastic enough that your baby will have breathing space. Remember, you don't want to put it too tight on your baby that they are not, comfortable anymore, and they cannot breathe, their tummy is so closed. No, there is a rule of the 2 fingers. make sure that you can put 2 fingers after dressing your baby. You can put 2 fingers on the thighs and on the waist, and that helps to make sure that your baby is properly fit, but also that they will not leak. It's properly fit, that they will not leak, but also you know loose enough that they are not uncomfortable or end up having some marks. That is a very common mistake. Do not put it too tight or too loose. And you are the mom or the dad, so make sure you try it several times to know which snaps are the correct snaps and the right fit for your baby before instructing it to any other person who will also dress your baby with the diapers. So it's important that the first times you do it yourself to know the right fit. Put 2 fingers like this to make sure baby is comfortable, and also on the waist make sure you can put 2 fingers like this. That will make sure baby is comfortable, and then you can instruct whoever else is dressing your baby that make sure you always put the last snaps over here, or it is the second. For example, with my baby at the moment, she's almost 5 months. Her size is this. She is what, about 8 kilos. So we put the middle snaps for the height always. For her, it was smaller before. Obviously, she is growing. And then for the waist and the thighs, we leave 2 snaps open. So these are the instructions my dada has. I'm not always home, but whenever she's dressing baby, she remembers to always leave 2 snaps open, because I have tried it a few times and I have seen that is the best size that fits her most comfortably, whether she has a full tummy or an empty tummy. So this is her size and she's very comfortable over here. Remember, this is also elastic, so it has room, and same here. And when you've dressed your baby already, try and feel the elastic areas if they are without the inserts. What that does, if the inserts have not reached all the way in the elastic area, when she pees or he pees, the fluid will notoriously come through here. And if you have pee without an insert, on an area without an insert, the pee will just come right through. So you will have complaints, oh, these diapers allow pee in to go through on my baby and she's wet, blah blah blah. But that is because you've not properly put the insert. So make sure after all of the movements of dressing baby, for example over here, that the insert is still intact, properly fitted in the areas that the pee will reach. So that is also a very important part. And you've had the 2-finger rule. We've touched on both thighs, that it's fit enough, not too loose, and also on the waist, that is not too loose. The last part is to make sure that this white area, for example this, is properly covered. This is especially on this design that we have of the suede, because if you compare it to the AWJ size, you have an extra waterproof layer at the tummy area, and this will help to protect diapers. We will be upgrading all of these sizes to have this, all of these diapers to have this part and this, so that will help with avoiding leakages or blowouts on the top, on the tummy area. But it shouldn't happen, blowouts, because you will just tuck in properly, and to avoid the white area being visible on the tummy, since but also on the thighs, if any. It's not always visible, but if it is, make sure you try and tuck it in, and then you will have a comfortable baby but then a diaper that does not leak. So there you have it. That is how the different snaps function, and you are to, try them out yourself. Different styles, different sizes. Do not be afraid, they will not break. I have shown you that is a very small baby. You put all the snaps all the way. With my baby, it's not all of them. I leave one below. But then for, a bigger baby who is almost potty training, they don't need to put on any snaps, and you just have to fit the waist and the thighs, and that's it. They can already use the diapers as they are, like so. Yeah, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment section. I will read all of them and respond. Or if you're watching this live, in terms of how we will, we still have some episodes left. This is October 2025. You can ask me and I will make a video of, the questions and answers at the very last part of the videos. Thank you for watching, and see you on the next one.